Radio Free Tatooine presents Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast.
Boshuda, fellow Holotable Hustlers, you're tuned into Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast that's better than some and worse than others. I'm Sean, a.k.a. The Other Sean, and sitting across the holotable from me is John, a.k.a. The Uncanny Mr. H.
Just to be clear, you always say, and I'm recording before you record, and you did not today, so I want to make sure you actually are recording.
This is your test here, your final exam, to see if you've got what it takes. To continue being a host on this show that you've been a host on for 5 years.
But are you recording is the question. Yeah, it's been a day. Our special episode with the stunning premiere of Doja Fett, detailing the event that will be happening next week is great. But also this week they dropped a big load of Rancor on us.
A big stinky raid.
Yeah, with the challenge tier pit.
Yeah.
So you get us in your ear holes twice in 1 week.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. And I can't help but appreciate the smooth release that this Beskar Mando deal has had. Between Doja slipping it on the forums early, and then our podcast. Apparently, it was released 3 hours early in Google Podcasts. So, oops. I've figured it out, and it's not going to happen again. But yeah, so it's been I'm telling you, it's
not often that we're the ones who do the whoopsie, but we definitely had the whoopsie today.
Yeah, it's not often that we are caught doing the whoopsie.
That's true. There are plenty of things that have gone terribly. I was telling Snowy today about how when we got the in-game ad, we broke our website for like a full day, and they were astonished. And I was like, no, that's just how we do.
Look, we are amateurs. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. We're amateurs in the game and in the podcast biz, but we're
in
here.
All things, really.
And we're so glad you're listening to us fumble our way through this. So yeah, we're going to be talking about the raid mostly tonight, right? A little bit of new info for Galactic Challenges. We'll go over that and kind of give our first impressions and what we've learned so far from the raid. But first, let's take a look at upcoming in-game events courtesy of swgohevents.com. For a list of past, present, and future events in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, there is no better resource on the web than swgohevents.com. So as this releases on Friday, the 11th, we have the new Galactic Challenge, newly revamped Galactic Challenge. It's going to be Takodana, and it's Empire versus First Order. John,
either way,
it
doesn't matter who's been playing as. Yeah. I'm good.
I'm pretty sure you play as Empire, fighting against First Order.
That's fine.
So cool.
Pick your pony, man. I'll take it.
I'll see what I got. It's not going to be much.
I'm gonna get all the key cards.
I know this time around. It's going to be a little rough for Sean. I mean, I wouldn't do any better with First Order though. So
yeah, I mean, the next one, do we have it flipped? Is it First Order versus Empire? Can I just request that?
Probably with my luck, it's probably going to be Jawas. Even more incentive for Jawas. Jawas are going to be a theme tonight.
I mean, there are mascots functioning.
They kind of are the mascot. Yeah. Also on the 11th, we will see a Jakku Omega battle. On the 12th, we have Grandmaster's Training Mythic, as well as a new territory battle. This is the painful one.
Maybe less so now.
You think?
I don't know why, but more people have Jedi Master Luke. I don't know.
It'll hurt in a very familiar way.
I mean, it'll be terrible for me, just as usual. But what are you gonna do?
This will be the Republic Offensive or Rebel Assault if you're doing Hoth. Bless you if you are.
You sweet summer child.
Yeah. Pay no attention to what we say about Republic Offensive. The Clone Parade. It's a lot. We've also got Galactic Bounties Part 2 on the 12th. The 13th, we have Executrix Fleet Mastery. 14th gives us Training Droid Smuggling, as well as a new week of Grand Arena. I want to talk about Grand Arena just for a minute tonight, too.
Okay.
Because I done good, John. I done good.
Okay.
On the 15th, we've got Dathomir Omega Battle, as well as Pieces and Plans Mythic. Galactic Bounties 1 comes back on the 16th. On the 17th, we've got General's Command. Get those finalizer blueprints. Finalize your finalizer.
That's quick. We just had finalizer.
Yeah, we did. And then, let's see. That's on the 17th. So on the 18th, we've got Tatooine Galactic Challenge, Resistance versus Separatists. Okay. That's... Well, get me
but
some
I'm playing as Resistance?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also on the 18th, Endor Escalation. Okay. Fine.
I want to bring Piet into there and just lay waste to those fools. It's going to be glorious.
Wait, is Endor Escalation is not the assault battle?
Oh.
That's the... isn't
Eggy
it the
walks.
Wicket event?
Never mind.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near as fun.
Not yet.
I want to kill him with Piet, though.
Yep. So let's talk about Grand Arena just for a moment here, because this week, I'm not going to name names because I don't want to make a fool of anybody. No. My guy just was not lucky, it would seem. I'm going to go in now that I know about these arrows. Very modern. So I don't usually experience this many holds, but my bounty hunters, which are okay, they're gear 12 with a Relic 3 Bosk. They got 2 holds and were not defeated. My Rey was attacked twice, not defeated. Night Sisters, they walked all over because, what can't beat Night Sisters now? It took 4 battles to defeat my Grievous and 2 attempts on my General Skywalker, unsuccessful.
So it's not a great battle for them, huh?
I looked at it and I genuinely felt bad. We've all had a bad run there.
I would have given up long before that.
I mean, to be fair, I did not clear him either. I was just like, well, I just have to win a couple battles.
Right.
At this point. So we'll see how this next round does. I've kind of changed up my my defensive teams a little bit after doing a little research. And I won't get into the full teams I'm using or whatever, but I don't care. It's not secret. I'm terrible at Grand Arena. You can know. That's fine. But I don't want to bore you all. But I've found that studying the data on swgoh.gg, those veteran smugglers do some work on defense. Not a bad pick.
They have to be constantly underestimated, frankly.
Well, and also they're resistance now, so you figure they can go on a Rey team with a Jedi training Rey. Jedi training Rey, BB-8, R2, and those jokers. That's significant. So of course he didn't get to that team. Because
we're still saying it's a good team in theory.
Yeah. So we're gonna try it out and see how that goes. But I think that's an exciting little use of my resources. Even though BB-8 and R2, they fit on a couple different teams each. So we'll see. We'll see how I like it. If I use it, that's a weird that could work on attack so well too.
I feel like the whole point of those people are going to underestimate it. So I really like that.
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about the new stuff first. I guess let's hit up the Galactic Challenges, because
it's not really a huge
small
difference.
Yeah.
So basically, they talked about it before, where if you complete a feat at a higher level, you automatically complete it at the lower levels, which is great. And each feat is going to be worth a certain number of, are they the key cards? Is that what they're actually called still? Yes.
I think so, yeah.
So each feat's worth a certain number of these points, key cards. And then at the end of the event, after 3 days, it tallies them all up, and then you get a reward chest based on how many you had. So instead of getting the rewards immediately, you get it at the end. I don't see that this was really a big difference.
No, it's more just like, instead of the rewards trickling in, you just kind of open one chest that has them all at the end, right?
Right, and you just try and beat the hardest one you can, which I like a lot.
Yes.
Also, starting on the 22nd, according to Crumb, we're going to be getting these twice a week.
Oh, the Galactic Challenges?
Yes.
I didn't actually see that part. Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Yes, starting December 22nd, run one Monday through Wednesday and another Friday through Sunday. That'll obviously be adjustments for that, but so, seems good to me, right?
Yeah. More stuff to do. There's a bunch of, one thing I love about these is like the new Rancor challenge raid is cool, but like not everyone gets to do it. I mean, newer players or players not like new, but newer than us,
Which
may
is
not
not
be
hard.
in a guild. Right. May not be in a guild that can even attempt it.
Yeah.
Or even if they can't make a meaningful contribution of damage. Not that we really made a very meaningful contribution of damage.
For our first go, we did fine.
Yeah. But the nice thing about these challenges, these Galactic Challenges, is even if you're a scrub, just started playing, there's something,
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice. You look at it, you say, I would say I'm probably going to just dive in on tier 4 or 5.
Let's see what you do.
On this one with Empire, I'll probably dive in on 4. Because I ain't doing a whole lot.
This week in particular seems to be very positive news for any of the newer players, between the easy requirements for the Mandalorian Beskar armor event.
Yeah.
Easy way to get those characters, and more news about Galactic Challenges. I mean, it's all very newer player friendly.
Yeah. And actually, on that Beskar business, so we had a bonus episode drop yesterday as we released this that goes over a little bit about the event and the requirements for getting into that. We were talking with one of our patrons before the show, and they were asking about, okay, so like what, like, did you ask about his kit? Yeah. So the thing is, there's only so much that can be said at this point. Just know that, we know you want the kit. We would love the final kit as well, but
Delicately put.
Yeah. So I mean, that's obviously, it's got to be coming soon with the event creeping up on us. What, next week now? So
on the 16th. So
yeah. So it's got to be coming soon. It's just can't.
I suppose at a minimum you'll have it on the 16th.
Exactly. We can't say exactly when yet. So, our bonus episode covered that. Obviously, there's a lot more questions out there. We got out of CG what we could get out of CG. So it was a fun little chat. But, fun fact. We thought that was going to be a longer episode because the file size was like 46 minutes. of our interview.
Mm-hmm.
And we recorded that part prior. So yesterday, as we're prepping it, we were like, all right, cool. Let's just do an intro, outro. That's an episode, right? Sure. We record that. It's late at night. I'm editing. And I realized that almost half of the recording is us just chatting after the interview about completely unrelated stuff.
Oh, yeah. Extremely unrelated stuff.
So I had to slice that all out. And I thought, well, all the more reason we should do 2 episodes this week. Because that is not delivering on the brand promise of us babbling for a whole hour.
Yeah, you get us to ramble for a certain amount of time.
And here we are making good on that, you know?
Yeah.
So one thing we're not making good on is the progress on the new raid. Not making good progress on that right now. But that being said...
Yes, I mean, the Black Sun Heroes, we because they put everybody at max tickets to when it launched. So we, of course...
10,000, which is as much as you can hold. Yep.
We launched it to kind of just see where we were at. We just kind of threw things at it to see what we did, test things out. We got to phase 3, I believe.
Yeah, we're early in phase 3 right now.
Or just ended, I think, didn't it? Or that's only been a day.
Yeah.
Maybe we still got another day to go, don't we?
We got to look at that health meter for another 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything left to throw at it.
No,
but I mean, considering we didn't really coordinate anything, we were really just kind of seeing what stuck. You know, I think we did pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, we're 300 million guild.
I don't know, a bunch of million.
I don't look at that for like 6 months and then I have no idea what we are. Yeah, 304 million. And we got about halfway through. So
without doing, I don't want to say without trying, but without having any idea what we're doing.
Yeah. I mean, one thing to keep in mind, and we're going to go into a little more detail here, but one thing to keep in mind is that this raid, I'm looking at our guild and I mean, everyone's tapped it, you know? But I mean, we've got some people that have done a couple 100,000, and that's okay. That's, you know, that's how this thing works. Our top player, has done over 5 million. That's not bad.
Not bad. What have you done? I don't think I cracked 1 million.
I did 2.3 million.
Yeah. I only had one team that really did anything.
I mean, I have essentially another team I can throw in there.
Yeah,
I'm not holding out much hope for it.
I fed the Rancor twice today with nothing.
Yeah. So I guess let's talk about the raid. Let me actually pull it up here because I want to get into some other things, but we got to talk about a little bit of the nuts and bolts here. I'm sure you've seen it, read it, played it, heard about it, watched the stream, something.
So,
but
we should hit the high points of each phase, right? The big changes that are what's really sticking in our craw. The captain, the big pig captain,
who is now a murderer.
Yeah, he is a straight up killer.
Yeah.
His basic now does bonus damage equal to 30% of your max health, which is rude.
On top of the regular damage it does. Yeah.
Plus, he hits another person, right? He hits two targets and does an extra 30% of their health. Oh, and by the way, if they had 25% health or more, they also call an ally. That's big on a basic, right?
Can't be evaded or countered.
The countered is crazy. Rally of the guards, it's the same. Summon some dudes. He's got a heal. Cool. His kill order, which used to just be Death Mark, now also does healing immunity, which is fine. 5 turns. Yeah, you should have a cleanse.
Yeah, true. But
and the unique thing is kind of crazy. Immune to turn meter reduction. And this, for every 20% of its health lost, this unit gains 75% offense and speed. So if you got it down to 20%, oh boy, that's a fast pig. Also, It gains 50 armor protection and a bunch of crit chance damage and potency every turn. Oh, and you lose 5% offense, tenacity, and mastery, including defeated characters. So in case you had a 6 strat to have a character be dead the whole time to avoid that and then res them at the last minute, no, it's not going to work. Oh, and that's also tripled for Galactic Legends, which I support because nuts to you, Galactic Legends. You can't dominate this right away.
Or ever, really.
So that's a lot. And then Fearsome Foe, which I believe is both that ability, the Pit Fighter 2 and Fearsome Foe are shared by the Captain and then all of the Rancor phases.
Yeah. Yep.
So that the Rancor has that, plus the Captain and the Rancor has this. Gets 75% tenacity and 50% turn meter whenever it takes damage rather.
As long as it's not toppled.
Right. Yeah. Which is 1 turn now. That's different.
Yeah.
And it gets to use 3 abilities per turn. So that's cool. Enemies also can't recover health with Health Steal, Recover Protection, or gain bonus turn meter. So you cannot reduce their turn meter, and you also cannot gain it yourself.
You can still take bonus turns.
Correct.
Which is that's good not news for General Skywalker.
And First Order Officer.
Oh, does he do bonus?
Actually, is he? I don't remember.
I don't know either.
So that's one of the big changes in phase 1. That 30% health on his basic is just, and he's slapping 2 people with it every turn. That's tough.
It is tough. It's very tough.
Did you hit it in phase 1 too, right? You didn't just try and get in there on the
I
rank.
did. I sent in a Padme team in phase 1 and a Rey.
That's where you did a lot of damage, I think, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So phase 2, like we said, the Fearsome Foe and Pit Fighter, that's the same. Sorry, the same as with the Captain. His basic Crushing Claw now does healing immunity to the target and another person. So, 2 of them, and deals physical damage, and dispels their buffs, and reduces their max protection by 50%. Oh, and it can't be countered. Rancor Slam, the big AoE, does the same, bunch of damage, and also inflicts health down, and it reduces the cooldown for Devour if you're at below 60% health. It's bad. Bellow, when it sits there and just screams at you, dispels everything and removes turn meter. But now it also inflicts daze for 2 turns. So that's cool.
That's fine. That's thematic. I like that.
Yeah. Devour, it eats you. That's not any different.
Except it is a little different because so the text is instantly defeat target enemy.
Yes.
Right? So that's the same. And then this ability can't be evaded, and the defeated target can't be revived. That's the same. But then this ability is on cooldown when the phase begins. Should read, this ability is sometimes on cooldown when the phase begins.
There are some folks get eaten out of the gate.
Yeah,
that's true.
That kept happening to me. I, like many in our guild, had to offer a sacrificial rose. Because you got to send somebody in there at Relic 5, and a lot of us have a Relic 5 rose that doesn't fit on any of our other teams. So I don't know what's going on with that. That can't be working as intended, right? That's
the only thing I can think of is because he does get to use 3 abilities per turn. I don't know what the cooldowns are, but it's got to be less than or more than 3.
Yeah, it's 6.
And
so
also, it does it first.
First things first. Let's grab this character and eat them, and then let us begin
down and
the
get
battle.
A snack.
It's
I don't know.
Annoying.
Yeah. And also it has monstrous endurance, which means it has plus 125% armor as long as it doesn't have any negative status effects. Which, with all the extra tenacity, that ain't easy. That ain't easy to do. The door panel is the same, except it only topples it for 1 turn. Because I toppled him, and I was like, oh, yeah, here we go. I hit him once with First Order Executioner, and then he was back up. I said, oh, no.
Oh, I did the topple, and the door smacked him down, and then he stood up.
Yeah. Yeah. I just sat to myself and said, oh, no, this is bad.
That's not fun.
So phase 3, not really much different. It looks like the main thing is that he takes 75% less damage if the person damaging him has a negative status effect.
Mm-hmm.
That is instead of the extra armor.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it looks the same. And then his final form, all the same, except instead of the reduced damage from people with status effects, he can't eat you anymore. Oh, but it has 100% speed, and its abilities recover 100% faster.
Mm-hmm.
So 100% faster seems kind of strange. Like, how does it recover 100% faster than 6 turns? Is that 3?
I know. I am curious about what
that feels like some
means as well.
Some launch time wording.
Right, yeah.
They didn't change it. They should have.
That will be errated.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about it. That's really the the crux of the matter.
So he's a jerk.
He's a big meanie. So how many teams do you have that can even participate? You have to be Relic 5 to participate in this.
Yeah. So for me, going into it, Relic 5, I looked at my roster and I said no.
I would like to not do that.
Fortunately, my Padme team and early reporting was showing that Padme was performing pretty well. So my Padme was Relic 4, and I was hoarding Relic signal data.
Easy money.
So I popped her up to 5. I've got the Relic 5 3PO from all my Galactic Legending I've been doing.
Yeah.
I have Relic 7, General Kenobi and Jedi Knight Anakin. And I had a Relic 5 Ahsoka. So, okay, looks like that's my team.
Yeah.
That's the only team that I really looked at and said, I'm ready. The rest of them, I've been working on a General Skywalker 501st. It'll get there eventually, but they're not. My ARC Trooper is gear 11, so we're not there.
No. Very close.
And that team does okay. It's not really phenomenal, but it's a really good team for a lot of other reasons. So
yeah, there's not a reason to not build that, right? It's not like with some of the other raids where it's some real wacky stuff so far.
Mm-hmm. And then I ran Rey with the Resistance heroes, I think, Finn and Poe, and Holdo and R2, I believe. I think. I'm not positive that was my comp. I think it is. It did okay. My Padme, I got like 1 million. These guys got several hundred thousand, like 600,000 or 700,000.
Was that in phase 1 still?
That was phase 1. And then phase 2, I sent in a Jedi Knight Luke team today and got a few 100,000. And that was Luke, Jedi Revan, Hermit Yoda, Old Ben, and another person. I mean, it. Like I said, it did okay. So I'm not breaking this thing's back. My Padme team is definitely my best option at this point.
Yeah, I don't have any of those. I mean, my Padme team, I guess, isn't too far off. I think she's Relic 3. But I had my arena team.
Yeah.
Malls. So I was like, what the hey? So I threw in my Slicker and crew.
Quite
CREW,
literally.
but also crew. And, I put together like 800 and some odd thousand. So it was respectable.
Respectable run, sure.
It wasn't bad. That was about it.
Yeah.
I can't remember the other team. I threw one more team in, my Empire team, at phase 1, which was kind of cobbled together. because not all the right people are Relic 5. And they got like 110,000, something like that, which is, not great.
Yeah.
And then I have 2 other teams that could even possibly work, right? I have 20 some odd Relic 5 characters that are better. One of which is a Scoundrel team with Kira Lee. And I can tell you that L3 was a crunchy snack to begin with.
Yeah.
They did nothing.
That wasn't it, huh?
And then I had my other First Order team, which didn't do anything. So thus far, not great. I have a lot of people like Relic 2 and 3, and going up to 5 isn't the end of the world.
Sure. Yeah, 5 is the last easy Relic level.
Right. I'm thinking I'm going to put my
it
troopers
turns
up to 5 and see how it turns out.
Yeah.
Because they don't rely on turn meter as much as they rely on assists.
Worst case scenario, you
Sure.
have a Relic 5 trooper team.
But yeah, like that's a plan anyway, right? Like that's not.
Yeah.
And Padme, like I said, let me look at how my Padme team is.
That's a solid team for a lot of purposes anyways.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I would not regret having a better Padme team.
Now, the other things that we've been hearing in the echoes of the interwebs of teams that are getting stuff done is right as this released. I'm sorry, I have a cat up here that is waltzing through all of my Dungeons and Dragons miniatures right now. Like it's
All
no
big
big
business.
thing. Cat,
She will not be moved.
So sharing a basement with animals is it's great. Early, as soon as this thing dropped, YouTubers were out there popping up videos, and Arnold T 101 put up some serious damage with Jawas, and it's worth checking out. Because with a new raid, 50 people in the guild, we kind of figure, everyone needs to aim for 5% or for 2%, and then we can clear this phase, right? And you do that 4 times. That's the old methodology that used to work in old raids. With this raid, that pit fighter unique, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, it definitely leads you to want to have everybody start at the same time on each phase, so that it's not, boosted from that.
If you do 19% damage to it, cool. I can go in there and have a similar start, anyways. But as soon as it goes under that 20%, or I guess under 80%, whatever. As soon as it has suffered 20% health loss, it gets 75% more offense and speed.
Yeah.
And then when it drops down to 60% health, that happens again. That is stacking. So, yeah, I mean, this stuff that's not a realistic strategy until we're all at Relic 72 or something. We can't just go in there willy-nilly. It forces coordination of schedules. And I don't like that. I don't want that.
Right, because you want everybody to start each phase at the same time. So we're all starting off with the no bonus armor and speed. But all that damage still stacks. Right?
Yeah.
So if we all do 19%, nobody suffers the penalty, but we kill it 5 times over.
Yeah. Yep. But then you also don't want 6 people to do that. Because then you've just wasted a ton of damage on it.
Right.
After they all post. So it requires, at this point, more coordination than I like. Or let me say more coordination than the Black Sun heroes are generally known for.
It's not really the coordination that's the problem. We had to do that with like the tank, right? We didn't want to overkill the tank back when it was launched.
Yeah.
But the problem is the coordination of schedule, right? Like you 6 people go in at this time. I guess that's not super different than what it used to be, but I remember it sucking. But
even then, it didn't have to be the same time. It was like, okay, so you're you're going in for phase 2 today, right?
Right, sure.
I'm supposed to get out of work at 4. All right, sure. So I'll go in around 4. Something happens and I can't go in until or I can't attack it until 6. All right, things happen. No, those things happen moments are not okay anymore.
Right,
everyone has to go at the same time or this does not work. And that's World of Warcraft, man.
Ugh, yeah, the timed raids for
I cannot get behind that. I don't like that. I do not. Now, okay, so he gets that 75% offense and speed. Does that mean you've lost the raid? No, but come on.
I mean, to be fair, it might when we're first working on it.
Sure. So there's some mechanics that Relic 5, huge gate, whatever. Gates exist in this game. That's the nature of the beast. Sure, I wish I could tell you
from my experience with Relic 5, Relic 4 and 3 probably wouldn't
yeah, exactly.
really help a whole lot.
Your Gear 12 team that you wish you could use, trust me, you don't wish you could use them.
Or you wouldn't for long.
But so that's fine. But in the spirit of the Rancor in Return of the Jedi, I'm just picking a couple bones tonight because I don't want to every week. I don't want to be the guy that drags it every week, So I just want to get that out of the way. The 20% health barrier things.
Yeah.
I don't like them. I don't like them one bit. I think
but even then, that's only because of what it forces you to do. The mechanic itself isn't bad, right? It gets harder as it gets more beat up. I get that. The problem is it incentivizes you to do the weird scheduling thing.
48 hours, it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah,
I don't like that. And then it's been addressed before, but the reward structure, oof. I don't like
everybody at least gets something.
Yeah. But this is much bigger, I feel, of a deal than the bad Sith rewards, where like the top spots got good stuff and the bottom spots didn't. In this one, like the top spots versus bottom spots, the disparity is so huge that it will literally take months for someone in the bottom half of a guild to relic up one character. And I know that like the difference between relic 7 and 8 isn't night and day, but I don't like that structure. It makes people in guilds, like I get the incentive is to make them compete, but it makes them jealous of others. It makes free-to-plays look at the whales of the guild and with some kind of side eye, like.
Well, which will then return to, we'll just get good.
Yeah.
So, like, I get it.
I'm not a fan of the way those are distributed.
I'm not sure what the solution is. I mean, as somebody who is,
up the
as
lower
we discussed,
ranks,
bad at rating and indifferent generally, I would say give everybody the same rewards, right? Like you pass or fail as a guild.
I would love that. Yeah.
But I'm also the one who would be riding on the coattails of those people who are doing a ton of damage.
And I would love that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm realistically, I'm somewhere in between there. I do some work. I would be in the top half. Probably,
yeah, I think it was in Doc Chat we talked about this. Before we have this thing on farm, I will be trying everything I can.
Mm-hmm.
Once it's on farm, though, I just can't.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be bothered. But until then, dude, I'm all in on getting the right teams and making this work.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem isn't necessarily that it's for a few months, right? Well, this is being really pieced together. And as we've lived with these other raids for literally years, like the rewards compound more and more if you're one of the people who always posts in the top of the raid, right? The rich get richer.
Yes. That's not to put too fine a point on it, but that's it. It's the Uncle Moneybags syndrome.
Yeah. I think it would even be better if you just made it like into 3 tiers, right? Each third of the guild gets a different bracket of it and make it not that big of a difference. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man.
Yeah. I feel like maybe those like top tippy-toppy guilds are like, cool, man, let's challenge each other. But a lot of people like us are more like, come on.
I don't want to.
I know. Yeah. And
I don't know where the right
maybe that says something about us as much as it does the guild, but I don't.
Yeah, but
I don't like
you want to reward people for trying hard, right? Like there's the obvious, it's not just the sense of pride and accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's like, here's a quarter, go see a Star War,
Exactly. But this being the sole place to get Relic 8, mats. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have the answer. Yeah. But you're right. It definitely feels bad.
I don't want to be the negative Nancy here. Is it Nelly? Nancy? They're both a little negative, aren't they? Yeah. Either way, I don't want to like drag this thing all the time. I just wanted to get that out tonight.
Sure.
Out of the system, that I don't like the 20% thing, and I think the rewards are underwhelming to me.
And the eating immediately has to be a bug, right? So that'll be addressed.
If that's not a bug, then add that to my list of bones that I have picked. And then I think I've picked my main bones. There's going to be more.
You got all them bones.
Okay, so that aside, I like this content. I do.
Well, I think and I mentioned earlier about how they gave a lot of stuff to newer players.
Yeah.
But this is amazing that they gave something for endgame players and for non-endgame players, right?
Yeah.
Or I should say friendly for newer players. And it's...
What, you're talking about the Mandalorian?
Between Mandalorian, and in general, Galactic Challenges.
Oh, yeah.
They are definitely riding that balance lately of being able to cater to both camps.
Mm-hmm.
Because generally, the problem is you go to one or the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, this is great. I think that having the tank on farm or on sim is going to be great for a lot of guilds.
Yes.
Not just endgame guilds.
I agree.
Because it's been around for three years.
It was pointless. There was no fun to be had in the tank raid.
No.
It was just a half-hour-long chore.
Or me collecting 48th place, And there are...
Right.
Which I earned every penny of it. But there are guilds where there will be a definite rising of all boats by everybody getting decent rewards from the tank.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, I'm very happy with the direction things are at the moment.
It's fun. I mean, I got stomped, right? But it's fun. You've got
fast.
Some new stuff. Yes, and it's fast, too. So, like, we made a meaningful contribution of damage, slightly, whatever. We got in and did our best. And it didn't take a half hour. It was boom, boom. You are done.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I did a thing. I'm dead.
Yeah. So one other thing also before we get off the topic of how good this raid is or bad, one thing to consider is, we're leadership of our guild is a bunch of old dogs. Been playing since the early days for the most part. Right? And the history of our guild, when the first Rancor raid came out, could we beat tier 7? Oh my God, no. Like we started on like tier 4, maybe.
Probably.
I don't know, something like that. And then we quickly realized, okay, we can take 5, and then we graduated up to 6, up to 7, whatever. When the tank raid first came out, heck no, we weren't doing heroic. No way. Sith raid, same thing, right? Or Sith raid, we might have jumped into heroic a little quicker. But even that took a lot of work.
Quicker, not quickly.
Yeah. So, anyways, the point is, this, after having mostly completed our first run at it, I don't feel like this is impossible. I feel like it's going to take a little work, but we can do it.
To be fair, I think that while we are not one of the top guilds by any stretch, I think that as the percentile in which our guild has slowly risen as we have shedded smaller players over time and inactives and gained bigger players, right? Like we are, by comparison, we are a higher GP guild than we were 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago, whatever it was when the Sith raid launched.
Yeah, sure.
So compared to the average guild in the game, I think we are higher. So it's not surprising that new content would be easier for us. I have no data to back this up, but that's just kind of how it feels.
That would make sense. Sure.
But that being said, yeah, it's going to be work, but it's doable, right? When we were just kind of, again, I don't want to say goofing around, but we were all just kind of throwing things at the wall, seeing what stuck. And we got halfway through it without really working on it. So
day one.
Right. I think we'll be fine as a guild. But we also, that's part of what I don't want to have to do with that coordination of schedules. We're pretty laissez-faire with guild management, right? Like we don't really hammer people on stuff because we have a responsible group of players.
And we could even coordinate when the guild starts. Like phase 1, let's try and bang this out.
Sure.
Phase 2, maybe 3, 4, it's going to be a crapshoot, But we'll see what level of coordination we need. There's just so much. This is so new to us that there's so much for us to kind of figure out how our guild interacts with this.
Yeah, I mean, and there are smarter people than us out there for raiding.
Oh, a lot
in general.
Yeah.
And in the coming weeks, we will see about maybe getting somebody on here once we really start getting into the heavy theory crafting about this to get some more
I think
intelligent discourse.
To you earlier, I'm just waiting for the Skelterix video to show me how to do this.
Right.
So, yeah. Now that we know what the goals are, what our minimum entry is, and what teams are kind of important, where's that take you? Who are you grinding?
Excellent segue, my friend.
Yeah, I thought so.
Well, first and foremost, I'm done with everything for Super Sheev. My Sith Eternal Emperor grind is complete. I am now grinding the actual tickets to get in the event.
Oh my goodness.
I've done the first 3 tiers once, and then I went back to just start grinding more tickets. So it's done, right? I mean, obviously, I got to grind out all the tickets and then ultimate donuts and everything.
Yeah. Those ultimate donuts.
I know, but I'm done.
Whatever.
I'm done. I'm done everything else. Finito, which is very satisfying.
I have to imagine. Yeah.
So naturally, I turned my eye to gearing Stormtrooper
to get you through this new raid.
No, just because I need to do something stupid.
Oh, okay.
So my Stormtrooper is at 12.5 now. Okay. I'm finishing off the last piece of gear. I just need some more Chirotechs. And then I'll have a Gear 13 Stormtrooper for some reason.
Yeah.
And then next up is Magma Trooper. Because I will have all Gear 13 Imperial Troopers.
Yeah.
So it was written, so shall it be. I got Gideon just waiting till I can grind him. And then it gets a little fuzzy, right? Like I've been slow grinding Jolie. I think he's almost at gear 6 or 6 stars. I've been grinding on some ships on and off, making progress. I actually unlocked the hyena bomber.
Oh, yeah.
So I got that grind is still going. And those aren't accelerated, so it's still just a
your hyena and vulture are not like maxed, but how are your Geo ships?
I mean, they're all
7 stars.
Yeah, I've had those forever.
Okay.
I don't know.
So
if I did it on purpose.
You could run Malevolence now
if I had it.
Oh, I guess that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So I've got like 20 shards of it. I just started grinding it at the end of the last territory battle. I threw everything I had.
Gotcha.
And Malevolence. So that's kind of where I'm going now.
Yeah.
I'm going to slow grind these ships because I'm not going to be in any hurry because Malevolence is going to be a bit.
Mm-hmm. It's a commitment. It's a fun ship to run. I mean,
yeah, and I have a good. I think he's only Relic 5. My
Grievous.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So he's good. But he's not great. I mean, comparatively.
Sure.
Still throwing the occasional energy at the Emperor shuttle and the TIE bomber. God, it feels like slow motion though without the accelerated grind now.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird. I think in regard to Mandalorian characters, since I am going to want Mando Plus eventually, I'm going to wait until April, I think, to grind the original Mandalorian and Grief. Because
you already got Kara to 7 stars, didn't you?
Yeah, Kara's at like Relic 3.
Okay.
Because I do just want to do it quicker.
Yeah.
Like I'm not in a hurry. And if I can wait a couple months, which is not that long in this game, and do it literally twice as fast.
Do you think in those couple months you'll be able to find a project? Something to keep you busy?
I mean, maybe. Honestly, I think Imperial Probe Droid is probably next on my list after these troopers. And then I'm probably going to get back on that crazy horse and go for my Gar Saxon. Because I cannot...
That is a very crazy horse.
I cannot let it stand that I do not have the best Gar Saxon.
Yeah.
What is my Gar Saxon at now? He hasn't changed in a while. I just forget. He's not even Gear 13 yet. Like that I cannot abide that.
No, you need a Gear 13 Gar.
Thank you.
Definitely.
I definitely did make comments to Capital Games about them making me kill fellow Imperial Trooper Gar Saxon when I had to use Gideon.
Unacceptable.
They did not find it as amusing as I made it out in my head.
Yeah.
But so who are you grinding though, bud? I'm ready to move on to another project. You're still working on yours though, right?
Yeah. I finished Chewie for stars anyways. Got him up to 7 stars, the backpack Chewie.
Nice.
Mon Mothma is up to 64 out of 100. So that's the only shards I'm grinding. I got a little antsy and spent all my crystals and maybe bought a pack to finish up the Chewie grind because it was just eating away at my soul.
Sometimes you gotta, man. It's just like it's...
I don't want to do a spreadsheet. I just want this done right now. Yeah. Working on Grief. He's up to 23 out of 100. Mando's at 66 out of 85. I've been half-heartedly grinding him. I feel like that could have been said better. But for gear...
If you're doing it, but you're not loving it.
It's my job. You know, it's my job. I got to put food on the table. I got kids. Gear, I've got Shakti up to 12.5 right before the raid dropped, and then I unfavorited her very quickly because I can't be messing around with her right now. Arc Trooper is at 11.4 now. So that's coming right along. Now I'm trying to get that 501st team together. I got Echo and Rex up to Relic 3.
It's so disheartening when you're like, I got him to 12. That's great. And you look at it, you got none of the 6 like even ready to go. And you're just like, this is the worst. That 12 to 13 grind is brutal.
I mentioned earlier that veteran smugglers were doing some things for me, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
So I boosted Vet Smuggler Han from gear 10 up to 12. Just as a bad idea, but it wasn't that much gear. It was a lot of stuff I had, so
sure,
whatever. Sometimes I need a weird little diversion like that.
Yeah, I get you.
Let's see. Rebel Y-Wing, we're at 6 stars, but I'm taking it to 7. Might as well see that thing out. My most recent Zeta, I think, is still Mon Mothma. Probably. I don't know. So who gets the next? I don't know. probably should save them for Luke, but I'm real bad at saving. So I guess we'll just see. So yeah, the project now, I guess, is getting those 501st. At least up to Relic 3, and we'll kind of see how they generally seem to be performing in the pit raid. If they're not mandatory, I might skip out on that, but I'll get them up to 3 at least. That's all we got for you this week. It may not be the best advice, but at least we didn't recommend trying to actually use Rose in that new raid. Just feed them. Give them something sweet. Galactic War Report is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. Learn how to become one and get access to our Discord server at patreon.com/Galactic War Report. As always, big thanks go out to our Sandcrawler level supporters, CT1980, Devin Doctorman, John T. Kusinek Jr., and SWGOH.GG. If you like what you hear, please consider showing your support with a rating and or review through your podcast medium of choice. Thanks for tuning in, and may the Force and RNG be with you.